Yo, what's up? It's Jason. I'm back with another video. This is a late night video I'm doing here, and it's another contest entry. This is a contest entry for Sam St. John, who is doing a contest just for the sake of doing a contest, which I don't mind at all. Sounds like a great reason. Yeah, he's pushing to higher and higher subs. I think he's pushing to 800, but he's definitely over that now. So go check out his channel. I'll put a link down below. He wants us to show 5 records that you might not have seen otherwise in my collection, or you might not think I own, maybe. Those who have been following my channel, you know my tastes are very diverse. Although I do show a lot of metal, hip hop, punk, techno, experimental. Did the experimental tag the other day. I have a lot of pretty odd, obscure, avant-garde stuff, noise stuff I could have shown. But I decided to show these 5 because I don't think I've shown them before too much. And they might be a little bit of a surprise to folks out there. So the first one I'm going to show is actually a 7-inch. And that is a record by Noam Chomsky. Well, it's actually a split. Noam Chomsky and Bad Religion. This came out with an issue of Maximum Rock and Roll, the famous punk rock magazine, newspaper, newszine, which no longer is around. It's hard to believe, but back in the day, in the 90s, early 90s, they put out this 7-inch record. So you got Noam Chomsky talking politics and world affairs, etc. And you got, I think, 2 tracks by Bad Religion on this 7-inch. Yeah, it looks like 2. So they're deep in discussion about George H. Bush and the Iraqi invasion, stopping Saddam Hussein, and the whole thing opens out into a pretty big poster infographic kind of thing, but I won't open that right now on camera, but just because it'll take too long to put it all back together. So 4 other records that I don't necessarily show that often, that you might be surprised that I own. Well, I have shown this guy before. Definitely a big Little Richard fan. Got this record, Shut Up, a fave of mine. This is a compilation, 1951 to 64. Got Taxi Blues on here, which is a disturbing little ditty. Every Hour, Hound Dog version on there. Crying in the Chapel, a bunch of stuff basically. Picked this up in Toronto. Near mint copy for $15. But yeah, can't go wrong with Little Richard. And it's a Rhino reissue. I like those Rhino reissues from the 80s. So that's another one. Some of you might be surprised to know I'm not a big 60s fan, as you may or may not know watching my channel, but I am a bit of a fan of Donovan. I've always been really into his little ditties. I guess the psychedelia of the songs, the strangeness, the absurdity of some of them. Pretty humorous too. So this one's Where Your Love Like Heaven. It's an OG copy, quite beat up, but still plays nonetheless. Got some writing on the back, etc. Another one that might be a surprise or a shocker to some people. Kate Bush. I have a little bit of Kate Bush in my collection. This is actually a compilation greatest hits album, the whole story. So pretty much the only Kate Bush record I need to own. It's a promo copy with the cut out, but nevertheless a pretty good version otherwise. And yeah, you got everything: Cloud Bursting, etc. Hounds of Love, Running Up the Hill. I've always been a Kate Bush fan since I was a kid. I remember having this on cassette actually back in the 80s. Kind of fascinated by this sort of unusual UK female artist. Kind of classical. Always felt sort of classical or high-end in training, but good tracks nonetheless. So how many is that so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th one and final one I'm going to show. Let's see what I got here. I guess another one from the 60s. Another band that I don't show very often, but a Pink Floyd record. Fan of the early Sid Barrett years, especially. Not a later Pink Floyd fan. I mean, when I was a kid, I liked The Wall. Who didn't? I don't listen to The Wall anymore, but this one I had to pick up. Remastered copy of Piper at the Gates of Dawn. It's got, of course, the Astronomy Domine track, which Voivod did the famous cover of, and Interstellar Overdrive, which is also really cool too. So, again, kind of psychedelic. My favorite Pink Floyd record, and actually the only Pink Floyd record I own in my collection. So, that's my entry, Sam. Hope it's good. And I'll put a link down below to the contest. If you haven't entered it yet, you have until the end of June. Hence my late night entry here. I'll see you guys in the next one.